Your life is too precious to be held down by critical as Karen. What's up, guys? It's Dasha. Today, I want to talk to you about managing your inner critic. Pretty sure we've all got one. The inner critic is a part of your mind that tells you what you should and shouldn't be doing, and when you're doing something bad and when you're doing something wrong. The inner critic was really installed in childhood when we heard judgments and criticisms. No, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. Probably from our family, but also possibly outside of it, about who we were and what we were doing. And we internalized these and developed this mechanism to really protect us from doing the wrong thing that gets us in trouble, that gets us punished, that makes us feel shame or sadness. That's really the role of the inner critic. Now, the problem becomes when the inner critic takes too much power and predominates in your mind and sort of runs the show as far as how you think about things, how you make decisions, how you feel about yourself. Oh, I should have done it this way, and I never get it right. It really hurts, and it really limits us, especially when you decide to do something new. That's when it really flares up. I can't think of a single time in which it's actually helped me. Let me know in the comments if you want to keep your inner critic and what they're really doing for you. I think it's important to distinguish this part from ourselves. It's just simply a pattern of thought. And therefore, it's a portion of your mind, which is not you. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are the decider of your thoughts. You are the thinker of your thoughts. And you are also the acceptor or rejecter of the inner critic. So my proposal is to weaken the inner critic with the following strategies. You want to distinguish yourself from the inner critic. You want to name that inner critic. By naming it, you isolate it conceptually and therefore are able to distinguish those thoughts from the thoughts that you want to choose to think and reinforce in your mind. I chose Karen. No offense to Karen, but there are connotations at this point. You know, Karen, not exactly known for being chill, known for shutting things down, known for having issues with what other people are doing. If your name is Karen, I would suggest choosing another name. When Karen pipes up and says, you should do that, or you shouldn't do that, or what are you thinking? What are you doing? That's so... No, she's a feisty little one. What I like to do is say, thank you, Karen, for your feedback. You can sit down now. And turn my attention away from that judgmental, critical thought stream. I can do this. I can explore. I can make mistakes. I can try new things and learn from what happens. It doesn't matter what other people think of me in doing this action. It's really more important what I think and making sure that I think and act in alignment with my values. And that's what matters to me, right? That's not what Karen would allow one to think. Karen's very concerned about what other people think. That's why she tells you what you should do, because she wants to make sure that you're in the approval of other people. You don't want to argue with Karen because Karen is very well practiced in making a case against you. She's had years of experience. If you accept what she's saying, understand where she comes from, and know that you ultimately have the decision of whether you're going to give her more power by listening to her and believing it to be true. You don't have to believe everything your mind tells you. And so I would also encourage you to self-compassion as a neutralizer of negative thoughts. Self-compassion is basically a way of relating to yourself with kindness, with empathy, recognizing your common humanity. Everyone makes mistakes. The mistake is information. It's a way to learn something. Everyone fumbles when they're learning something new. I couldn't have done any better. I did the best that I could. It's okay to be flawed. It's okay to not know and still do. It's really a very stable foundation of self-worth as opposed to self-esteem, which is a judgment of one's worth, generally based on things like attractiveness and achievements, things that are very contingent, that change over time. Self-compassion can make you feel good even if Karen isn't pleased with how your hair looks. No matter where we are or what circumstance we're in, we can always relate to ourselves with kindness and recognize our common humanity, regardless of the condition, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of your performance. You deserve kindness. And relating to yourself and giving that to yourself, how can you go wrong? You can't. You can't. So to recap, recognize that you are not your self-critic. So your thoughts are yours, but they ain't you. Don't forget that. Name your inner critic. This part of your mind is trying to protect you. Often she's overreaching, inserting herself where she doesn't belong. We need to recognize which thoughts are Karen's thoughts, acknowledge them, tell her to sit down, and then focus on compassionate thoughts towards ourselves, positive, affirming thoughts. Telling yourself that you can do this. You can take risks and you can make mistakes and you can learn from them and your life is better for it. Does that make sense to you? Let me know if it helps you. I'll be curious. Bye.